USC battles Colorado on Friday night in the Coliseum to try and improve to 9-1 on the year. Will Caleb Williams feast on this horrendous Colorado defense? Will the defense bounce back after a nightmarish 3-game stretch? We'll talk about all that and more on this week's Trojan Game Preview. Hey guys, welcome into this week's Game Preview. This is being referred to by some USC fans as pre-UCLA week, and I get the reasoning. This is a Colorado team that is absolutely terrible. The worst team in all of Power 5 by most metrics. This Colorado team currently sits at 1-8 on the year, and they have really only been competitive in 2 games so far this year. One obviously being the lone win for them on the year against Cal, and the other being against Arizona State where they lost 42-34. USC absolutely has to gain some positive momentum on the defensive side of the ball. We have seen a complete regression of this USC defense, and if we don't see an improvement this week, I don't know what I will say when we do the game review. USC star quarterback Caleb Williams was asked about this struggling Colorado team and USC's mindset heading into the game.
Colorado, their record might not show up, but they haven't given up on the season yet. Those guys are still out there fighting, and so we're not going to take anyone lightly. We're going to give that team respect, and we're going to go out there and play our game, regardless of how they're feeling or what they're thinking or how they think they're going to come out or anything like that. We're going to go play our game. Like I said, they're not a team that's given up. They're still playing hard. They're still fighting.
I always found the dynamic of a top team playing a reeling team late in the season very interesting. Just from the human side of it, you could totally see how the highly ranked team could overlook the underperforming team. But with leaders like Caleb and Lincoln Riley, I don't have any worries about that this week. Alright guys, that's all I have to say, so let's dive into this preview and meet these Colorado Buffaloes, and as always, we'll start with the head coach. Now, of course, coming into the year, Colorado's head coach was Karl Dorrell. But after he was fired, offensive coordinator Mike Sanford Jr. was appointed as the interim head coach. He has previous head coaching experience at Western Kentucky and previous offensive coordinator experience at Minnesota and Notre Dame, to name a few. Now, a common theme with Mike is that he has been fired from pretty much every big school he's been at, and after he leaves, there's an immediate improvement in terms of the offensive output. His offenses don't produce, and he fails to meet expectations. When Colorado hired him as their OC, the fans were absolutely livid, and you can completely see why. For an offensive guy, this is genuinely one of the worst and least inventive offenses I have ever watched. The route concepts are predictable and bland. They have virtually no QB run game, and I can't even count how many times they just run up the middle into loaded boxes. Alright, so let's talk about and meet this Colorado offense. I honestly don't even know where to start with this offense. I could just tell you that this offense is putrid and abysmal and you would pretty much get the complete picture. But as you know, that's not what we do on this channel, so let's just dive in here. Coming into the year, Colorado's starting quarterback was Brendan Lewis, who I thought in no way was good enough to be a Power 5 starter, but of course he got benched, and they've played a couple other guys since then. California native JT Shrout is the guy who's starting for them right now. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and he has an absolute cannon for an arm. Having said that, he struggles mightily with his accuracy. He doesn't have the best touch when he throws, and he can't really lead his receivers or throw them open very well. He actually went to Tennessee before transferring to Colorado. He comes into this one with 976 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 6 picks. It's been real tough sledding for JT and this passing game. This offense is not inventive or creative. The receivers and offensive line lack talent and athleticism. This team has been outgunned and outmatched every time they have taken the field this year. Compared to how they were playing earlier in the year, they actually have been improving as of late. Shrout has set his career high in passing yards in 3 consecutive games for the Buffs. He still hasn't eclipsed the 300-yard mark, but still he is getting slightly better every week. We're going to skip the interesting numbers part of this segment because I want to throw some rankings at you just to illustrate how truly putrid this Buffs offense really is. They are the 110th passing offense, 110th rushing offense, 129th scoring offense, and 122nd in total offense. Throughout the year, they have absolutely struggled to get anything going, clearly. And matters will be made much worse for them this week as star freshman wideout Jordan Tyson is out for the rest of the year after suffering an injury last week against Oregon. He was one of the very few bright spots on this Colorado team so far this year, and to lose him is a massive and unfortunate loss. He was also their punt returner, and he was one of the best in the conference. So just a huge loss for an already struggling Colorado receiving corps. Chase Penry is expected to step up and take Tyson's reps at receiver. Penry has been dealing with injuries this season and has only appeared in 3 games. They're going to let him redshirt this season, so he will play in this USC game, and then he'll be shut down for the rest of the year. Veteran wideout RJ Sneed transferred from Baylor to Colorado over the offseason, and they were expecting big things from him, but it hasn't worked out at all. He's dropped a bunch of passes on the year and has really failed to produce in any sort of meaningful way. There aren't really any more notable players to discuss, but a few more things about this Colorado offense. They have an unbelievably difficult time snapping the ball. Multiple times in the Oregon game, the center snapped the ball when Stroud wasn't even looking for it. And even when he is expecting it, the snaps will be on the ground before it ever gets to the quarterback. It's been happening all season, and I'm still shocked that they haven't found a way to remedy it. Another thing they struggle with is getting the play call in. Often you'll see the play clock at 6 or 7 seconds and the quarterback is yelling at the sideline to get the play in, which has resulted in a ton of wasted timeouts and delay of game penalties in critical moments. Also, Colorado runs the ball up the middle more than any team I've watched this year. It doesn't matter if the box is vacated or if the box is completely full, they'll just slam it up the middle over and over again. It doesn't make much sense. This USC defense has zero excuses this week. They need to play a great game for 4 quarters. It doesn't sound like Eric Gentry will play this week, but it doesn't really matter. Hold this Colorado offense to 17 or fewer points. I don't care who's on the field for the USC defense. Absolutely zero excuses this week. Now let's switch over and meet this Colorado defense. Again, this is one of the worst defensive units in the entire country. They have allowed 38 or more points in 8 of their 9 games so far this season. They also don't force turnovers very often, only having intercepted 3 passes on the year. In fact, this Colorado team is ranked 129th in turnover differential. It's crazy just how bad this Colorado team really is. This is a defense that has gotten absolutely hammered by every offense they have played aside from Cal, whose offense hammered USC, so that's a little worrisome. The middle of this Colorado defense is particularly weak. Travis Dye and the USC running back should have a field day. One standout player on this Colorado defense is sophomore safety Trevor Woods. He can really hit. He will fly down from his safety spot and make a physical play on the ball carrier. He comes into this one with 77 tackles, an interception, and 2 forced fumbles. He really is the lone playmaker on this Colorado defense. Just to help paint a better picture on how much this unit has really struggled, these are the point totals allowed by Colorado so far this season. And specifically talking about the Oregon game last week, this defense wasn't even remotely competitive. The USC offense could name their score this week if they really wanted to. Will we see USC's offense come out guns a-blazing in the first half and then just run the ball up the middle in the second half until the game's over? Perhaps, but I know I speak for most USC fans when I say that I would love to see USC come out and put on a dominant 4-quarter display. Now, some interesting numbers for this Colorado defense. They rank 116th in first down defense, 130th in rush defense, 130th in scoring defense, and 128th in total defense. Just as someone who has a massive amount of respect and admiration for the University of Colorado and their fan base, it really makes me sad to see that this is the current state of Colorado football. I really hope they nail this next coaching hire because this fan base definitely deserves to see a winner. Alright, so we're going to skip the keys to the game segment this week because I'm pretty sure you guys know what the keys to the game are. USC shows up and is mentally checked in, so we'll just go straight to the final thoughts. As you can see, Colorado doesn't have much of a shot in this game. USC currently sits as a 34-point favorite over the Buffs. Now, I don't actually think SC is going to cover that. I have SC winning 52-21. But I don't think I would actually pick SC to beat anybody by 34 points right now. Guys, we are 1 week away from potentially the biggest USC-UCLA game of my lifetime. So for the sake of theater, let's root for UCLA this week to take care of business against Arizona. I don't know about you guys, but I want this game to be as big and as important as possible. Alright guys, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you all so much for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Fight on!